Hey everybody. So for this video, more than anything else, look into the description on YouTube for basically the updated list here of my top 100 favorite films of all time. More than anything else, five new things happened to the list that didn't happen to the last time. Let's see if I can. I don't know why I'm looking over there instead. But anyway, yeah, like I said, five new things happened to the list. Some of these titles are new. Some of them have a new placement for another reason or another that I'm gonna talk about here in a second. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the list. You know, these are my top 100 favorite films of all time. And as far as right now, at least where I plan on doing with this is every year I'm probably going to update the list. Rather it's a new film that I think is one of the best of all time. Add it to the list. More than likely, it'll probably be like something like either my top two or my top three of the year. More than likely, it might make the list if I really get impressed with certain films in 2014. And yeah, more than anything else, like I said, look in the description, see if you're happy with my new things that happen with the list or not. And if you didn't see the list the first time around, well, now is your chance to be able to look through my list and see what is my top 100 favorite films of all time. But for the rest of the video here, I want to talk about some things on the list that are new and why they are new, why I added them to the list, or why there was a new placement, or things of that nature. And so let's start off with number 18, which is adaptation. Adaptation was on the list the last time around, but with this time, it has a new placement, meaning that it's higher up on the list than it was last time. I think last time it was somewhere in the 50s or something really, really, in the middle like that. But yeah, much, much higher rating now than last time. For the simple reason that, I'm a huge Spike Jonze fan. It's definitely, um, it's impacted my life more so than it did the last time I made this list. And I don't know why I'm looking over there. Let's see if I can. I don't know why. Yeah. Either way, uh, yeah, I just it impacted my life more so than I think it did from last time. And I'm a huge Spike Jonze fan, and it really inspired me, and it really it just it's almost everything I want in a film, and it's in there. It's just I don't know. It's just really hard to explain. It just really has a lot of meaning for me, and I'm a huge Spike Jonze fan, and I just felt the last time around I felt I was almost too harsh on it, and I appreciate the film more so now than I did the last time I made a top 100 list. So that's one reason basically why it's higher on the list than it was last time. The next title I want to talk about is new on the list here. It's my favorite film of 2013 for those who saw my top 10 list of 2013 for that video. Yeah, enough said, you guys. I really love this film. I mean, it's number 27 on the list, and it's not in the top 10 or anything, but I mean, it's a very big, noticeable film for me. I really think it has a lot to say about the current state of adulthood and kind of what men and women go through during a divorce, and when they're trying to um, move on and try to find someone new in their life and things like that. It just really worked for me. I mean, everything about that film worked for me, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini really nailed their parts in it, and I really really appreciate this film, and that's why it's so high on the list compared to a lot of other stuff that that's below the list on the list here. So yeah, just a really noticeable film for me. I really really like it, and it was definitely my favorite film of 2013 for sure. So that was number 27. So that's a new one on the list here. And like I said before, I made a top 100 list before. So for this video, more than likely, I'm just going to be talking about the new stuff that I got on here, since basically my last video was covering my list in general. Then another film that made it to the list here that was another favorite of mine in 2013, and that was Man of Steel. I love this film. I definitely think it's one of Zack Snyder's best films to date. Definitely gave me the Superman film that I wanted. I loved the whole Dark Knight approach they did with it. It is number 88 on the list, by the way. Just really love the film, love the storyline, love the philosophical and just the deep underlying meanings behind it, and just really, really well done film. And so I put that at number 88. And then this film, I saw back in 2010, and I really like it. I really, really like it, in fact. That's why it's on the top 100. But I didn't put it on here last time. And this is another film, kind of like Adaptation, because Adaptation made it last time, but it was, a lower rating than it was. It's a higher rating now than it was when I first made the list. But one film that I didn't add the first time around that I really wanted to add this time around was Inception, like I said. I'm a huge fan of it. Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors working today, and it just the more I think about it, the more I realize I really enjoy it, and it just really gives me everything I want. It has a great storyline, great special effects. Just really, really makes you think about the world we live in, about the dream world, and it really kind of it affects the way you think about the dream world more than you think it does, and yeah, it just I really, really appreciate that film, and I definitely just had to put it on the top 100 list for this time around, and hopefully it will stay there for quite a while. So, this film is an older film. It came out in the 90s, I think like 97 or 98. I think I saw it last year. I saw it last year at some point after I made my first top 100 list, and so I loved it enough that I just had to put it on here for this one. And it's Copland by James Mangold. I just love this film. It just really realistic take on the police department, and Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro and all the people involved with it were very, very good. And I really love the realistic feeling of this film. It just really, just some really terrifying moments that happened in it, and just so well made. And so yeah, it just had to be on here. So it managed to make it at number 95. So that was another new title here on the list. Yeah, so if you haven't seen Copland yet, make sure you do. It's really good. And then this film was on my top 100 list last time, but it barely made it, and now it really barely made it this time. And that's oh, and by the way, Dead or Alive and Big Daddy, I know for sure. I think The Day the Earth Stood Still was taken off too. So love those films, but you know what? I really thinking about it. I don't think they really belong on a top 100 to be honest. But yeah, Chaplin did have a new ranking. I think it was somewhere in the late 90s now, last time on the list, and now it's at number 100. So if I do make a new list in the future, like I said, more than likely it'll be next year or the year after. It'll probably be either off the list completely or it'll be barely on here like it is right now. But yeah, Chaplin is number 100. I really love the film. I think it's a very ingenious musical score by John Barry. I think that's definitely one of the number one things going for it. Robert Downey Jr. I just loved his performance in the movie, and yeah, I really love that film, and it's on the list, but it's slowly getting off the list, and it might, like I said, more than likely, if I do update the list at some point, add some new titles on here, more than likely it might get knocked off, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what happens. So those are my changes, you guys. Let me know what you think. If you haven't seen my top 100 list, make sure you take a good look at this time. Make sure you look at it this time if you weren't able to see it from the last time, and hopefully I'll see you all here for the next video.